Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at a very peculiar piece of Thomas & Friends merchandise. This is the Amazon exclusive Thomas & Friends Engine Celebration Pack. This has been released by Mattel for the 80th anniversary and it features a couple new pieces of merchandise. We have 3 new motorized engines and 2 new diecast engines, some of which are not yet out in America. So I thought this was a pretty good way to get normal versions of these characters without having to wait for them to come out in stores. So, as we usually do, we'll take a look at the box first. The box is not, the most interesting thing in the world, but there are a couple things worth noting. We have the big Thomas logo up there, Fisher-Price logo, and the 80th logo, along with the name of the pack right there. On the back here, not anything too special, but we do have up there Thomas & Friends Amazon multi-pack. Cool. So yeah, the box doesn't really need to be anything too crazy, but I do appreciate how Mattel put a couple cool things in here, just to make it stand out a little bit. So let's just dive right in here. So let's see, what's the best way to get this open? I guess we'll go from the bottom here. So when this pack was first revealed, or I guess posted to Amazon a little while ago, we had no idea what the box would look like. It was literally just a promo of all 5 of the engines, and it only just started to show up in people's, collections recently. And the box on the inside is very, very interesting and has caused a lot of discourse among the Thomas fandom, but we'll get to that in due time. So, let's see what we got here. Alrighty, this is pretty cool. So, I guess we'll start up there. So I guess it's a good time as ever to mention the box. People have been claiming that this is AI. I don't know what these people are saying. I do not personally think it's AI. I would be very upset if this did turn out to be AI. I think it's just a very, very cute, adorable picture of Thomas that was drawn by someone who doesn't really know how to draw trains, and we'll see that when we take a look at other parts of the box. But I think this is a very, very cool addition, and this is very reminiscent of the, I think it was 2023, 2024 Thomas Wooden Railway items. There were a couple sets and packs released toward the end of Thomas Wooden Railway's, the 2022 Thomas Wooden Railway's life, and this box is very reminiscent of that. It's also interesting to note that this is sort of made out to be like a coloring thing. I think they sort of implied that kids can color this in, which is pretty unique, but we also have a couple of different signs and emblems along the box here, which is very, very nice. And then down here, covering the engines, we have all 5 characters that are included in the pack. This, I mean, it looks more AI to me, but I personally don't think it is AI. I think it's just like very strangely warped CGI promos. But of course we have Gordon back here, Percy, Thomas, Henry, and James. Very, very interesting. It's kind of like a hybrid of styles. I don't know if you can see, but right in the back there we have like the CGI hills from back in the day. But the buildings and everything around it are giving me like all engines go vibes. And it's also interesting to note that the tracks are gold, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, let's open this up and see what we got. So here is everything. I guess we'll start with the repeat items, the ones that I already technically have. So here is Thomas. I have seen a couple of videos of people struggling to get these out, so I hope it's not going to be too hard. So here is Thomas. This is just the normal version of Thomas without the weathering or the added details like the white running board and the painted buffers. I'm not going to do any comparisons in this video to other models because I think it's going to be pretty lengthy already, so we're going to skip out on that. But this Thomas looks very, very nice. I really like that just cleaned up version of Thomas without the water on the side. It looks very nice. But I'll talk about this more with Gordon. I'm so used to these new toys. Oh, he's got something on here already. Like plastic, I guess. I'm so used to these models having the white running boards and the buffer detailing, so it's odd to see just a completely red base to Thomas here. But Looks very nice. The face is pretty much the same as or I guess the eyes are looking in the same direction as the new Talking Thomas. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same. It's already dirty. I forgot to mention this when I was doing my Talking Thomas review, but the quality control is really, really bad. You can see there's some weird detailing back there, which is very, very upsetting. And I have seen a couple different posts on Twitter where people claiming that these engines have really poor printing. Especially, I saw someone post that their James had really bad printing on one side, so that's kind of upsetting. But no, Thomas looks awesome. Very happy to finally have just a regular version of him. That's pretty awesome. So we'll put him over the side for now. We'll take a look at Gordon next. Oh, he's pretty stuck in there. Let's see if we can get him out easily. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, he's got... Oh, that sucks. Look at that. He's got like a mark on his eye. That's kind of lame. And his face looks a little crooked to me. Oh, that's also very upsetting. But yeah, Gordon looks really weird without the white running board and the buffers. That's interesting to know. But yeah, pretty much exactly the same. I think the eyes are in the same position. Like, they didn't change the 3-pack version of Gordon at all. Yeah, I still do like this version of Gordon. But there are a couple things on him that I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah, pretty standard fare. I don't really need another Gordon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I'll probably just keep him in the box here, but who knows. And then here is his tender, exactly the same as the one in the 3-pack with the removable coal. Very nice. All right, so we've got 3 items here that I do not yet have out of box. I'm really, really pumped to look at them. Let's take a look at Percy. This is probably my most anticipated new item besides Duck. I think this looks really awesome. Wow. Look at that. That's a good model right there. Wow, that's good. It feels really good in the hand. I was very impressed with Thomas, and I have a Duck new in the box from the UK, but he's not open yet. But man, Percy might be my favorite new one. This is nice. Look at that face. That's a great Percy face. He's going to look even better when he has a white running board and buffers once that 3-pack comes out. Yeah, this is good. I'm not really a fan of how the dome and the whistle are yellow instead of brass, but that's a total nitpick. I'm going to say my more in-depth thoughts of Percy for the 3-pack video, but there are some things on here that I really, really like. Some things on here I'm not a huge fan of, but I'll save that for that video. But overall, this is a great version of Percy. I'm really, really happy to finally have this. Yeah, really, really cool. All right, let's put him right over there. There we go. Let's see. Let's go to James next. So I have James and Henry are out in Meyer in America, but I knew I was going to get this pack, so when I got those ones, I kept them new in the box. So this is my first time examining the new die-cast tender engines in hand. I don't want to break this, but it's kind of hard to get out of the plastic here. Come on, James. Ugh. My goodness. Man, they really got this guy in here good. Come on, buddy. Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to take this out of the case and get him out on my lap here. Oh, there we go. Whew. Man, they got that stuff in here good. Wow. I was going to do a video on just James and Henry like I did for Thomas and Percy, but I guess this will count as that video. I think James is pretty cool. People have been claiming that he's like the best one. I don't personally think so. I think Thomas is the best one in my opinion. But this one is still pretty decent. Yeah, not too bad. I like the face. It's a little iffy, but I like it. He does have the painted buffers, which is nice. And he actually shares a couple pieces with the All Engines Go James. I think the cab is exactly the same. And I think the cab is a little tall. I would have liked to see it a little shorter, but that's okay. He feels pretty heavy too, which I like. And he feels pretty long, interestingly. I'm not really a huge fan of the gray wheel James, like I mentioned in my All Engines Go video. I don't really like it here. I wish they were black wheels, but that's a nitpick again. And then he has a gold coupling rod here, which is an interesting choice. You can see also on the splashers here, he has some rivet detailing. He also has that along the boiler here. Speaking of the boiler, the handrail here, it's flat, and it technically should go around to the firebox here, but they've bent it. An interesting choice, but I like that they sort of acknowledge that it's supposed to go onto the firebox. From the side, I think James actually looks pretty nice. But he's scaled like the CGI James, which was made very, very tall for some reason. So it looks a little strange when we put him side by side with Thomas and Percy. Not horrible. I think James is a perfectly fine one, and he's actually assembled fully with screws, which is pretty nice. So you can get the coupling rod off here if you want. That's what that's called, right? The coupling rod, yeah. Yeah, not too bad here. Here's the tender. It's exactly the same as the All Engines Go one, just with some slightly different printing, I think. Yeah, not too bad. I think, no, this is plastic. I was going to say, is that metal? Nope, it's plastic. Very, very cheap. At least the buffers are painted on the back. That's a nice touch. Yeah, not terrible. Oh, that's weird. I mentioned in my All Engines Go video how the tender engines had, like, holes in their tender here. But James only has it on one side, which is an interesting choice. But yeah, not a bad one at all. I think James is actually pretty nice. And now we go on to probably the most controversial part of this new pack, the new Henry, who is, again, going to be a pain to get out on camera. So excuse me for just 1 second while I get Henry out here. People have been kind of mixed on Henry. I'm kind of mixed personally. I guess we'll see what I think about him once we get him out of the packaging here, but it's proving quite a challenge. There we go. Alright. I'll keep the plastic out for now because I want to take this playmat out in a second, but here is Henry. Henry's not too bad, honestly. I kind of like this one. I liked him when he was first revealed, then I was kind of iffy on him, but now I actually kind of like him. The face is a little strange. It doesn't really look like Henry. I mean, I'm not a fan of the CGI Henry face, but it does resemble that. I just don't really like how the face looks. He does have smoke box supports here, which are painted a different color, and his buffers are painted, which is nice. What's really odd about this, similar to the All Engines Go one, his cylinder is creeping through his footplate, which is very strange. He's also not technically the right, I guess, wheel configuration. He should have 2 more wheels at the front here. I would have liked to have seen that, but oh well. I mean, these are very cheap toys. I can't really expect them to be perfect. But he also has the coupling rod here. And from the side, Henry looks pretty nice, but there's one jarring thing about this. He should have one more splasher here. I don't know why they didn't include that. It looks very, very odd. I would have loved to have seen that. I don't know why they didn't include that. It's very, very interesting. He also kind of has an open cab a little bit there. You can't really see the whole way through, but at least it's sort of hollowed out. Oh, that's cool. His handrail here is actually like 3D molded. That's awesome. I like that. But he does have his 2 domes up here. You can't really put the whistle there. I would have liked to have seen that. I forgot to mention that on James. I do like how his whistle is colored. That's a really nice touch. Henry does not have one, though. But his cab is really thick for some reason. I don't know why it's so big and thick. It looks a little strange, but oh well. And he does have some rivet detailing along the cab here and a handrail. Very nice. I apologize for cutting so much. I've been coughing a lot lately, and I don't really want to cough on camera, so that's why I've been cutting. But here's the tender. I actually really, really like the tender. For years, the diecast Henry had this, basically like this footplate running board thing on the tender, which was not accurate. Pretty much like James here, like this part here, Henry also had, which was not accurate. So this tender is actually pretty nice. It is fully plastic, which is kind of a shame, but it's a little heavy. I do like how we have the molded buffers here. not painted in, but oh well. And he does have some rivet detailing along the bottom here, which is nice. Yeah, I would have also liked to have seen another set of wheels, but that's a total nitpick. But yeah, I mean, Henry, I gotta be honest, he's not terrible. He's actually kind of good. From the side here and from the front, he doesn't look terrible, but there are some slight, inconsistencies with this guy. Oh, he's also assembled with both screws. That's nice. I remember Percy and Thomas had rivets, or I guess bolts, so you couldn't really easily take them apart, but now we can with Henry, which is a nice little touch. So, yeah, that's all for the trains here, but we are not done because I want to take a look at the box itself a little more. So we've got this little instruction manual here, and I remember when we took a look at the 3-packs, I noted how the Thomas here was just the Trackmaster 2 Thomas, but this is actually the new Thomas, which is pretty cool to see. I like that. They actually put some effort into the instruction manual, but we also have this kind of cool playmat here. This is very reminiscent of the old, take-along playmats. I had one back in the day that I would play with my wooden railway trains on, but this one is like cardboard, so this is going to rip really easily, and it's going to bend a lot instead of being felt like the old mats were. And this is a very interesting mat, to say the least. It's like a hybrid between All Engines Go, CGI series, and their own abomination thing. So you've got the All Engines Go sheds here, but you can see the tracks don't even line up with the tracks on here. They're way too small. But we got Sir Topham Hatt doing a Nazi salute down there. We've got Ruth's Windmill, which is a very odd choice. I don't know why they chose that to be here, but oh well. Got a lighthouse up there. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's supposed to be like Vickerstown Bridge or something, but the track just kind of ends up there. Is that, what is it called? Callan Castle? Is that what that's supposed to be? Maybe, I'm not sure. We've got, Knapford Station down there. We've got, the part of the rescue center, and then Vickerstown Station just planted right in the middle here. Oh my, what is this? Do you see that? What is this? What in the world is that? Do you see there's black stuff on the track here? Is that normal? I can scrape that off. What the hell is that? I hope that didn't come off from the trains. That's kind of gross, if I'm being honest. I hope I can clear that off. That's disgusting. Hope that didn't rub off from the plastic or anything. But yeah, I gotta say, even though this is a cool little feature, it's kind of lame. But the back of this thing totally saves this. This is really cool. This was an awesome surprise. And I just realized I knocked over to Henry. Sorry, Henry. But we've got shots of all the main characters here. We've got Thomas, Percy, James, Diesel, Nia, Gordon, Toby, Emily, Flying Scotsman. That's awesome. Hero, Henry, Ashima, Harold, Duck. That's even more awesome. Salty, and Edward. That's really, really cool to see again. I want to say, they probably just threw a bunch of random characters on here, or the most popular ones. But I really hope the other characters that don't have toys yet that are included on here, I'm hoping that these characters get toys next. I would love to see a push along Duck, or a new Trackmaster Hero, or a die-cast Diesel with side rods. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. If I'm not sure if that's confirmed yet, but I would love to see these characters be made into toys next. That'd be awesome. Yeah, the front here is what we already saw, and then we've got the characters' names in different languages on the side right here. And then we also have on the bottom of the box here, we have another maybe AI drawing, probably not though, but we've got Thomas, Percy, Gordon, James, and Henry. This is very reminiscent of there's in the early 2000s there were DVD promos and pictures of those 2D engines going by. This is very reminiscent of that. I'm not sure if that's what they were trying to resemble, but if they were trying to do that, that's awesome. But this is also, I think, what you're supposed to color in, which is a pretty interesting inclusion. But I hope this isn't AI. I don't want to say it is, but it kind of looks like it. Just a little bit. But it also comes off to me as this was done by someone who didn't know how to draw trains, but that's only a theory at this point. So overall, I gotta say, this is not a bad pack, despite the fact that there may be some AI elements in the box art. I still gotta say, for the $40 price tag this carries, this is not a bad deal. This is a very nice way to get some of the new characters if you don't already have them, especially Percy, who is not yet out in America. It's a very nice way to get all of them here. So if you ever find yourself in the situation where you have $40 to spend and you want to get this pack, I'd recommend you go out and get it. This is a nice pack here. And of course, you won't find this in stores. It is only on Amazon. So that's going to do it for this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have enjoyed this round of 80th anniversary reviews. This is, as of the making of this video, the last new item that I have. Unsure if I'm going to get the barrel launching set. I'm not sure yet. That's a little bit pricey for me right now, but if my Ruby Thomas does not arrive in time, I'll probably get that set. Speaking of the Ruby Thomas, I don't know when mine is going to arrive. I don't know if that's going to be in stores or what. It's not on Amazon at the time of the making of this video, so I'm not sure when that review will be out, but hopefully it will be soon. But other than that, we've got a couple new 3-packs coming down the pipeline, and we have ducks to take a look at. So that'll be coming probably in September or October or so, but if this is the last video for the summer, hope you all have enjoyed the reviews. I really enjoyed making them, and I hope to see you all later.